This is the story of a powerful campaign aimed at combating cervical cancer through awareness, community action, and survivor voices. A reason for being campaign.
My name is Achieng Otieno. I lead the team at Being Africa. Being Africa is an initiative of online voices that aims at informing, inspiring, and involving everyone in the fight against non-communicable diseases. At Being Africa, we are running the campaign called Her Reason for Being. The campaign Her Reason for Being is simply a journey. It's a journey we are walking with cervical cancer survivor, just to highlight the challenges, the success stories, and also to encourage members of the community to take the preventive measures. Because cervical cancer is one of the most preventable and most treatable cancers if people have the right information and if people take the right action at the required time.
Our journey began by bringing key stakeholders together: health professionals, community leaders, policymakers, to align our strategies for fighting cervical cancer and its stigma.
My name is Sally Agalo and the other one is Kwenda. At Her Reason for Being, I'm the voice of survivors. Why? I am the SAL. Because of my story of having survived cervical cancer, I said I'll not keep quiet, but I'll use my voice as a tool to speak up, share my story of hope, to inspire other women to go for the screening and, if possible, early screening. And in this campaign, I'm the SAL, as I said, and I'm doing this, and I've been doing it since we started the campaign, and I'm seeing many women opening up and accepting to go for the cervical cancer screening. And most importantly, most of them are doing it even earlier without any symptoms. My story began in 2007 when I did not have any symptom at all. And when I share my story and tell these women, they're also trying to do the same. And I must say, so far we have reached over 3,000 women who have confidently accepted to go for the screening. And we are getting very positive feedbacks. And just to add that some have also come out to share their stories the way I'm doing, because there's power in storytelling. And I realize that this is a tool that if many of us who have gone for the screening can share, then we can fight the stigma, because stigma begins with acceptance. We can kill stigma by accepting our conditions and sharing our stories and making sure that we are bringing change to the community.
Through comprehensive training, community health promoters and assistants were empowered with the knowledge to educate their communities on HPV vaccination, regular screenings, and cervical cancer prevention.
If we do better in training and having our CHP be able to screen verbally with the community members, then bring them to the facility for screening by the healthcare workers, it will really help us to prevent and also early detection and early management of these cancers.
Through this campaign, we aimed to fight the stigma that is associated with cervical cancer. And we did this by sharing survivor stories and also extensive community engagement. We also encourage women to go for regular screening because regular screening would lead to positive outcomes. We also encourage the community to embrace other preventive measures like HPV vaccination amongst young girls. And to sustain the campaign, we also build community champions who would continue with the campaign and also normalize the conversations about cervical cancer.
We took the message to the streets, organizing walks to raise awareness, spreading the importance of vaccination and screening directly to the community. Community dialogues were held to discuss the myths, misconceptions, and stigmas around cervical cancer, providing a platform for education and support.
Lakini afadhali upitie ile discomfort, lakini afya yako iweze kudhibitiwa iko sawa, si ndio? Kuliko tuweze to avoid, alafu mwishowe tupatikane na saratani ambayo imefika stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 ambayo haiwezi tibika. Sawa sawa.
Ukiwa haujui hali yako, acha ukue accountant, uende bank, ufike kwa bank unahesabu pesa, si unaweza peana pesa zaidi? Muende mufanye campaign ya hii mmefunzwa ya health na musambazie watu wengi, the list the ndogo sana 400 and above. Sawa sawa.
At the heart of this campaign are the voices of survivors, women who have bravely fought cervical cancer and are now leading the charge in reducing stigma and encouraging early screening.
I was diagnosed with cervical cancer back in 2018, and for me, I believe what made me go through it successful, because I had that faith in me that I said that I'll wake up from this, and I gave myself that strength that I will wake up one day. Cancer is not a death sentence. We've made it, and also you will make it.
Jumbe naweza taka kuwapea ni ile, mtu ukienda ukipima ukipatikana unayo, usikufe moyo. Kansa hii mtu anakufa na siku zake, na upigane nayo. Ukipigana tu na kansa vizuri unapona. Usiachie kansa nafasi, juu ukiachia nafasi kansa ina run faster kwa mwili.
In a bid to reach a wider audience, we hosted weekly expert discussions, fostering open conversations and creating a digital platform for awareness, support, and advocacy.
It is we men who transfer this disease or this virus to the women. So we should hold them hands.
My name is Valerie Aura, the communications lead and also host at Being TV. The lessons learned from this campaign in terms of communication is that even the channels that we use should be diverse, should not only use one channel. So that's why we also put up the aspect of social media, doing the X spaces, doing the stories online, so that those who are not on ground can also access them online. We use several platforms. We go to people wherever they are. We don't tell them to come to us. So those who are not on ground and on social media, we reach them through the social media handles that we had. And this is also a call for you all to follow us on all our social media platforms and handles and learn more about the reason for being campaign, and also conversations that women are bringing in, how they're able to communicate in whichever way they want. But for this campaign, we ensure that survivors share their stories in the the way they feel comfortable sharing it. So that's also very important as we do such campaigns.
Throughout the campaign, we were able to reach over 250,000, both men and women, both on ground and through our social media platforms with the information.
Throughout this campaign, we've made great strides. We've been able to successfully train 160 members of the community, who include community health assistants, community health promoters, and various leaders within the community. We have been able to reach over 250,000 people with our campaign messages. We've also been able to reach the rural parts of the community through the community radios. We've also been able to bring in more men into the campaign, and we are experiencing a lot of success on that. We've also been able to encourage more cervical cancer survivors just to come out and speak and tell their stories, which has been more inspiring and encouraging to the community. We've also been able to create an online platform where members of the community can easily access information about cervical cancer. And they can do this by accessing the campaign website, which is her.being.africa.
It is a
Through collaboration, education, and community engagement, we are making strides in the fight against cervical cancer.
Our cervix and our vagina at large. And another thing, we don't do a lot of like screening and checkups to know how inside there inaendelea.
Cancer is also curable when it's early detected. Na hiyo kitu ikanijenga sana na nikajua ya kwamba vile nilikuwa nimeelewa kuhusu kansa sio vile iko. Nikajua kukiwa na kansa pia uko na maisha.
To ensure that we have a sustainable campaign moving forward, there is need for more support to ensure that such gains and strides are able to be preserved.
In line with the WHO strategy of eliminating cervical cancer by the year 2030, we as Horizon for Being campaign are also in the fight, and as we are doing this campaign, we realize that a lot of resources are required, especially to train community champions, because those are the ones that are going to be our ambassadors in the community. And also we realize that most healthcare workers do not still have adequate information as far as cervical cancer, and so many other things we are experiencing in the campaign. So we need also to have a lot of resources for this to happen, even before 2030 or even beyond, because the years are going very fast and 2030 will just come so fast. So we would wish to continue with this campaign even beyond that. At this point, I would also wish to appreciate the men who are in this campaign as well, because when you go to the community and we are talking about cervical cancer, we find that men are also interested, and there's no forum that we have sat in that men were absent, and they really contribute and ask. It was in one of these forums that one of the men was asking, where is this cervix we're talking about, and we're able to show where the cervix is, and it comes in as a joke, but they're getting the information. So we really appreciate the men who are in it. And as again, we shouldn't leave the men behind. If in case there's a man who hasn't joined the campaign, please do so, and let us work together in this journey to end cervical cancer.
And throughout this campaign, the challenges that we were able to face include financial constraints in some activities that could be resource intensive, which calls for more support for such campaigns and initiatives.
And as I've said, as I share my story and encourage other women to share their stories, we are doing this, and many women have gone for the screening and they're still going for the screening. But we also realize that resources are limited, and we would appreciate if we could be supported more and for this campaign to continue.
There's also a huge gap between the patient and the healthcare providers. This is because most women, we've realized that after screening, they have no proper channel of continuing with their medication. This is because of lack of equipment in the facilities to ensure that they get more tests and start treatment immediately.
We appeal to all stakeholders not to lose focus. Let's keep our eyes on the goal. Let's keep focused, because our main aim is to eliminate cervical cancer. Each and every stakeholder has a role to play, and we are urging the government to ensure that all community health facilities are well equipped for easy access for the members of the community. We are also appealing to the government to ensure that the community health workers are properly trained so that they'll be able to assist the women at the community level throughout the journey of screening, treatment, and even joining the support groups. We are also urging members of the community to be very proactive in embracing messages that will support them in eliminating or in preventing cervical cancer. Men also play a critical role in prevention of and elimination of cervical cancer. So we are urging men also to join the campaign and also join the cause of eliminating cervical cancer, because through them we are able to support women who are going through this cervical cancer journey, and together we will be able to eliminate cervical cancer. In this journey, we have come to conclude that eliminating cervical cancer requires multi-stakeholders engagement. And in this, we would wish to thank various stakeholders for their technical and financial support. We would wish to thank the National Cancer Institute for their technical support and also for their leadership. We also wish to thank the National Cancer Control Program for their technical support. We wish to thank the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization for holding our hands throughout this campaign. We also wish to thank the International Gynecologic Cancer Society for their technical support and also for all the resources that they've been able to invest in this campaign. Lastly, we also wish to thank the cancer survivors who've also come out strongly in sharing their transformative stories and also inspiring members of the community just to take a positive step towards securing their health. And most of all, we'd also wish to thank Salome Kwenda, who's been the face of this campaign and who keeps on sharing her story and also her life in the fight against cervical cancer. We also wish to thank the Langata Sub-County Health Department for their unwavering support and working with us through this campaign journey. A special thanks to Dr. Asma and Moses, who've been very instrumental in our training programs and also in our community outreach programs. I would like to urge you to keep supporting the campaign because her reason for being is our reason for being.
Together, we can continue to break the stigma, build champions, and save lives through HPV vaccination and regular screening. Join us in this fight.